What is up, everyone? This is The Good Life with David, and I am your host, David. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for those of you who are siguro patiently waiting for a brand new episode. And alam nyo, the reason as to why I cannot upload consistently, at least for the podcast, is because since I started uploading podcast episodes, I gusto ko ng lagi may video so I could repurpose it. But then again, I realized that that is hard. It's hard to produce. And so I have to convince myself that it's okay to upload a podcast episode without a video. Kasi originally gano'n naman talaga yung pamamaraan ko ng pag-upload. But yun sana, maging consistent na ako sa pag-record ng podcast. I have a lot of thoughts, but then again, hindi siya lagi na process. And one other reason why I wasn't able to upload a podcast episode in the past few months is because I had nothing to talk about. Even though I have a list of things that I want to share with you all, hindi ko siya napaprocess ng mas maigi kasi those things are quite heavy for me to talk about. But today's episode, medyo heavy din to. Actually, it's really heavy, but I wanted to talk about this kasi baka maimbak lang to na maimbak. I think I wrote this script outline a year ago. It was inspired by a blog that I wrote probably 2 to 3 years ago. So trigger warning. I hope this episode will not hurt you in any way. Basta be careful as you listen to this episode because we will be talking about something heavy. I think we should start this with a quote from Confucius. It says, "Every man has two lives, and the second starts when he realizes he just has one." And yes, we will talk about death for this episode. Gusto ko lang i-share sa inyo na I am scared of death. Since I was a child, a small child, takot na talaga ako sa kamatayan. And for today's episode, we will discuss the importance of knowing and acknowledging the fact that we will all die eventually. No one is immortal, and we all know that. And again, sabi ko nga sa inyo, tulad ko noon, simula pa ng bata ko, takot na ako mamatay kasi I grew up as a Christian, and ang turo sa Biblia is syempre, if your sins will go, parang hindi siya naihingi ng tawad, hindi ka naka-receive ng salvation, syempre pag namatay ka, you will not go to heaven. And when I was a child, hindi naman ako perfect child kahit ako ay lumaking Kristiyano. I had a terrible childhood. So I was a really the picture perfect Christian child. So, kaya, yun yung isa sa rason kung ba't ako takot sa kamatayan. Kasi I know if I die, I will not go to heaven. So, yun yung rason talagang bakit ako takot. But growing up, I still had that fear. However, as I grew more mature and as I grew spiritually, unti-unti na nababawasan yung fear ko with death. But it's still, death is very heavy for me. And to be honest, may ilang burol ako ng mga kakilala sa buhay na hindi ko napuntahan. Kasi part of me is parang paano ba? Hindi ko hindi ako magaling mag-process ng death. And kahit nga hindi ko personal nakakilala or hindi ko kamag-anak talaga directly, hirap akong iproseso yung death ng isang someone. So it's imagine how hard it is for me to process a death of a friend or worse, a death of a loved one. So wala pa namang ganong nangyayari in the recent years. But I just know for a fact that if it would happen to me, parang a part of me will die with them. So, pasensya na. Wag naman sana. Wag naman sana agad. But if one of you dies, I'd probably will not be able to go to your wake kasi I will not be able to process it. But I'm hoping that God will give me the strength to do that kasi kung parte ka ng buhay ko, syempre, I mean, me showing respect is for me to show up during your week. But then again, I have a hard time processing that. But anyway, a part of me dealing with the fear of death is every morning, at least in the past few years, every morning, I go to a mirror, tinitingnan ko sarili ko sa salamin, and then I tell myself that this will be your last day. Na hindi siya threat, but a reminder that since this is your last day on earth, make the most out of it. Gawin mo na yung best mo since ito na ang huling araw mo sa mundong ito. And I want to ask you a similar question. If you are aware that you will die tomorrow, what will you do today? Again, kung alam mo na mamamatay ka na bukas, ano ang gagawin mo sa araw na ito? I actually asked three of my friends, but I wasn't able to get the answers of two of them. So hindi ko nababasahin. But I will read something that I saw from Cora. Very early one morning, we received an alert that we were the target of a nuclear attack. It was reiterated that this is not a drill. We knew that this alert meant we had approximately 20 to 22 minutes remaining in our lives. Because of the hour, we opted not to call family as they would not have received the notification and would die, presumably peacefully, in their sleep and without terror. Waking them would have been for our benefit, not theirs. My husband and I laid back down on our bed, held hands, and talked about everything under the sun. 30 minutes later, we realized we were not, either not in the target zone, there was no attack after all, or it had somehow been thwarted. We did not discuss any regrets during that precious half hour. We were thankful for the life we had been blessed to live with the love of family and friends. If I had a full day's notice, I'd like to say goodbyes and count even more blessings. Yes, that was the story I got from Cora. And to be honest, to this day na nababasa ko siya, it's a painful thing to read. It's sad, but I feel inspired. And mas siguro mas nananaig lang yung fear ko if one of my friends or my family would die. Basta yun. I have a selfish answer to this. I always ask this question to myself and to some of my friends. Ano mas pipiliin mo? Ikaw ang unang mamatay o mamatay yung someone in your life? And a selfish way of answering this is I want to die first. Mas gusto kong mamatay ako kasi nga as selfish as it sounds, I do not know how to process and handle that. And so the best thing to desire is for me to die first, na ako yung unang mamatay, so I don't have to process their death. But they do have, but they need to process mine. So a little bit selfish, I know, but at least for now, until I will be able to process that properly, siguro ganun pa rin yung sagot ko. Pero to answer my question, that if I am aware that I will die tomorrow, what will I do today? My answer when I wrote this script outline is I will write an open letter addressing everyone and everything in my life. I will admit my feelings, kung kanino man, and spend time alone. But I think this will be changed, or hindi na ganito if I would write this today or if I would answer the question today. Again, I wrote this of probably a year ago, and hindi ako nagkakamali. I still have my feelings for someone when I wrote this. Pero hindi na ngayon. Iba na yung sasagot ko dito. Pero I would probably have or would want the same experience from the story that we read from Cora. I would love to spend the remaining hours of the day with someone that I love. And uh, we would be able to go to different country or kung saan man, I know. But the idea of being able to spend your last moments on earth with someone that you love is probably the best way to go out. Parang at least for me, mas gugustuhin ko yung gamitin ko yung oras na yon with someone that I love and to spend and talk about everything and anything under the sun katulad dun sa nabasa natin. But for some, we don't always have someone to do that. I mean, parang weird naman nun. Ang ibig ko sabihin, some of us would prefer to spend time alone, lalo na kung alam nila that that will be their last day on earth. But regardless of how we would want to spend our last remaining hours sa mundong ito, knowing that we would die tomorrow, I hope that we would have something similar with what we've read from Cora. That we will not discuss anything related to regrets, but focus on the things that the good things that happen in our lives. Alam ko hindi yun madali. It might sound as toxic positivity, but yun yung idea eh. If you are aware that this could be your last day on earth, you would probably spend that time doing the things that you love, doing the things that will make you happy, instead of focusing on the things that you regret. Um, but then again, case to case basis naman to. Iba-iba ito ng magiging dating sa bawat isa sa atin. Sorry, medyo na-stress ako kasi feeling ko hindi ko nabibigyan ng justice itong topic na to. This is a good topic, I guess. Pero hindi ko siya nabibigyan justice. But anyway, if you have the time after listening to this podcast, I would suggest that you read the blog post that I wrote from August of 2021. Meron itong title na What if we die instantly if we get sick? I wrote this after I got sick. Ayoko kasi talagang nalalagnat ako. Feeling ko sobrang useless kong tao. But the blog was written parang as I was recovering from a fever. And na-realize ko na paano kaya pag nagkasakit tayo, automatically patay na tayo. Parang wala nang time for a confinement, wala nang time for check-ups, wala nang time para makapag-stay ka sa kama at mataningan ang buhay mo. Wala nang mga ganon. Parang if you die, boom, you're dead. Kasi, diba, parang most of us are given the opportunity to parang have the time to forgive a friend, forgive someone, to apologize to someone, do something from their bucket list. Some of us are given that opportunity even without the knowledge of them na mamamatay na sila. May mga pagkakataon, parang may oras pa sila before their life gets taken away from them. But some of us do not have that same privilege. Let's call it a privilege. Some of us die instantly. And na-realize ko, what if that will be my death? Kung ako'y mamatay instantly. Ano kaya ang pwedeng mangyari sa akin? Parang I do not have the time to ask for forgiveness or forgive someone or do something out of my bucket list. Yun yung main idea ng vlog na yun. So if you have the time, please do check it out and give me your thoughts. And share ko lang din pala sa inyo, every Monday, I write an email to a group of people. Parang sa ngayon, 50 people yung nasisendan ko, including myself. So, 49 siguro. And I write an email every Monday and I call it Metal Monday. The main purpose of that email or those letters that I send at the start of the week is to give an inspiration to people for them to be metal or yung magkaroon sila ng ability to face things ng okay, parang meron silang strength to face hardships in life. And yun yung purpose nun. And if you want to receive those letters every Monday, just send me an email, send me a message, and then give me your email address and then I will include it dun sa email list na sinesendan ko every Monday. So, ayun lang. Originally, I just wanted to record the podcast, share about the past couple of months kung ano nangyari sa buhay ko. But for some reason, wala akong masyadong natatandaan. And I think this is a serious problem. Dati parang biro-biro ko lang sa sarili ko na makakalimutin ako. Pero recently, mas nagiging worse na siya. Mas lumalala na yung pagiging makakalimutin ko. Para ako may short-term memory loss, nagiging mahina na ang aking memorya. Hindi ko lang baka dahil sa constant na pagpupuyat. But even though I have the choice to sleep earlier, hindi ko kasi maiwanan yung ilang trabaho. Ewan ko, masyado ako married to my work. Para mo, kala mo naman, kala mo tagapagmana ng school pinapatay yung sarili sa trabaho. But anyway, I hope I was able to give some justice to this episode. Na sulat ko to again a year ago and nakatambak lang siya sa Notion ko at hindi ko na siya na-record. So, feeling ko kung hindi ko pa siya i-record today, ay hindi ko na siya ma-record. But then again, since this podcast episode has no video on it, hindi siya video podcast, mas mabilis ko siyang may edit at mas mabilis ko siya ma-upload and hopefully I can do this every night. So I have an episode to share with you every night. Ayos yun, diba? And alam ko, I keep on doing this still. Kasi sabi ko nung una parang gagawin ko kahit walang makinig, pero feeling ko that's nonsense. Feeling ko imposible yon. But, I mean, hindi sa imposible walang makinig. Parang imposible na motivated pa rin ako to do this kung walang nakikinig. But I know at least bilang ko sa isang kamay na merong tao na nag-verbalize na nakikinig sila ng podcast and they appreciate the podcast and that makes my heart happy. Parang sa akin, if I could use the podcast, if I could use the content I produce at least to make someone smile, to make someone's day better, I would continue doing this. And if I do this, and if I glorify God with everything that I do, especially for the podcast, ba't ko naman siya ititigil? So, sana mas maging consistent na, and I hope you are all doing good. Sobrang hirap ng buhay ngayon sa maraming aspeto, but I do hope na nagagawan mo ng paraan na makasurvive araw-araw. And I will pray for you. Alam ko hindi man tayo pareho ng faith or kung ano man, but I think it's good to know that at least one person is praying for you regardless of what you believe in life. But that is it for me for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the things that we talked about today, even though we talked about death. And again, this is a good life with David, and I hope you have an abundance of everything good. God bless you. Until next time.